crankcase, the right-hand side if you're sitting on the bike. So we decided to take all the bolts out, and everything labeled here. We've got bolt number 1, as labeled with a little tiny mark right here with a Sharpie. It's bolt number 1. All happens to be directly in line with the piston. So we've got a letter P right here to designate. That one goes in line with the piston, dumbass. We got 2, 3, 4. For some reason it's counterclockwise, but there are 11 bolts. If you only count 10 when you take them out, you're gonna crack the damn thing. So take the 11th one out, dumbass. There's also got to be this little nut, this little washer that come off with the clutch adjustment thingamabobber there. So I'm gonna set that aside for now. Lose parts and stuff. I hate when that happens. This whole thing is a pain in the ass to get off. The reason it's so hard to get off, because things fly out when you take it off. But the reason it's really hard to get off is because you have a bearing race that this has to be driven out of. This is actually a ride in the inner race right here. So you have to actually drive that off to get it off of there. It's going to be tough. Make sure you have all 11 bolts out. And the nut and the washer for the clutch adjustment.
Take it off. There's going to be this little C-clamp, C-pin, whatever you want to call it. It's going to go on. It's going to sit on this part right here. When you take it apart, most of this is going to go flying apart. So what happened with us, mostly going to happen with you.
Put this on here before we lose it.
Make sure that you could find this when you take it apart. But
good luck getting that on there. Just put them things on there. Probably gonna pass it underneath the washer and slide it down.
yeah. But we're gonna completely split the crankcase today.
Hopefully.
All the way apart, hopefully. And hopefully it goes our way.
If not, you'll know about it. There's gonna be a lot of loud curse words. I guess what we'll do is we'll tilt it up a little more. Really see what we're doing. Where that clutch adjustment piece pivots to and pushes on, we'll have this do a leak. Oh, a little bearing. It's a bearing, and if you're bored, it's a fidget spinner, depending on what you're doing and how long it's going to take. We'll put that with it. Everyone will watch the video later ourselves and remember how the hell this actually goes back together. We'll sit that over here in this nice sawdust so it gets all nice and filthy. This goes behind it. This is the actual shaft that connects to your shifter. Every time you press the shifter, it's just moving back and forth. That's pushing the clutch rods apart and everything else. Clutch distance and whatnot. But I suppose where we'll start would be this here clutch, which you might notice is one way. I can turn it this way, but if I turn it this way, nothing happens. So, these are presumably 10 millimeter, which is not what I have. Damn it! I'm gonna take a walk of shame over here. Trade that 8 millimeter out for a 10 millimeter. And what we'll need to do is take the chock block like we saw in the last episode. And we'll chock that piston up in the air somehow. Some way.
There we go.
This way. You put a little torque on here, it'll crush the wood before it cracks that piston.
Alright, sorry for the cut there. Camera shut off.
It's junk! But, now we've got these bolts out. I said, now that we've got these bolts out, this fancy cap should come off. Got this fancy flathead screwdriver. As this comes off, as we can see here, we've got what appears to be some kind of rubberized gasket here. followed by this handy dandy lock ring, followed by that flat thing,
followed by a gigantic nut.
you can see the marks where that used to be, so that's pretty obvious how that goes back. I don't know if it's been, it looks like that was milled that way. I don't know if it's that way or if it just vibrated its way into a groove that way. As we can see, there's no real marking here, but if you're curious later on, it's kind of a worn spot on the outside, and there's worn little grooves on the inside where it used to sit on here. So I'm the moron that had it on there backwards, but it does sit kind of like that. So as it goes on, it keeps a little tension on it, keeps tension on the bolts.
Make sure this little lip is facing inwards.
Because it actually rides inside of here. You got this giant nut. Deep well, probably somewhere around it. 18. No, bigger. Large sockets. Biggest one we have is a 19. I'm gonna try this inch and 16. Not big.
Well, we're working with the best camera here. Likes to cut out a lot.
Well, if you really want that stuff to stop, man, just like and subscribe and stuff. Maybe we'll actually be able to afford another one. But what you might know is that this is a right-hand thread bolt, which means go to the right, righty loosey, lefty tighty. We use an 1 1/4 because we don't have no big metric sockets because, you know, we're American. But as we take this off, this whole, well, now it won't. This clutchy type thing, after you break your fingertips off, comes out. You lose it.
It's actually your clutch plates.
More or less. This is actually the centrifugal clutch. When you're at a stop and you have it in gear, it's not going anywhere, and the reason for that is this isn't spinning fast enough. This spring that goes around the outside, as the engine picks up RPMs, this flings out just a little bit, just enough to grab that outer piece, which you might notice actually grooves cut in it from the freaking clutch. But that's actually what happens when you're sitting there idling, and step on the gas or hit the gas with your thumb, break your thumbnail off, and it goes, whoop, and it grabs. That's what that does. This is the primary or second. I don't know which is actually designated as which, but I call it the primary clutch that engages first. So that's what I call it. There's also this tiny little spacer that goes on the outside of the clutch.
You notice from sitting over the years and its age, and these are the original, you see this gunk right here. As I was saying, this gunk is just all remnants of the clutch plates. It's basically all I'm trying to get at here. Clean that before you put it back in. That breaks apart and gets in your engine. It could basically rip your engine apart from the inside out.
But beyond this centrifugal clutch piece, we've got this thing. I'm not really sure what it does besides space it out. I believe this bearing actually rides on the outside of it. Yeah, this bearing's like falling out of my hands now. Okay, that's the bearing now. So this thing sits on the splines inside of there. It spins around with it. This isn't exactly like a rolling bearing. They're actually like little peanut-shaped deals. Kind of even out the weight, so even if it does move around a little bit, it'll still stay semi-centered the way that it functions. It's actually kind of neat. I've never seen a bearing like this. It's kind of weird. It's like a drag bearing or something. But I mean, I got to go into semi-detail of where this stuff came out of because you're going to need to use this information, and we're going to need to use it to put it the hell back together. So put that there. This won't come out because that gear rides on the back of that actual clutch disc pack, and it's going to be horrible because it doesn't fit. It does slide back and forth. That obviously comes out in the next couple steps. But here we have our 10mm cap bolts. We're going to hold this little clutch cap on.
Alright, so we got the clutch and everything off. We got a new camera. And we'll explain more when we're putting it back together. There's certain things that it's easier to explain taking it apart. We don't feel like putting a lot of it back on because it's very tedious.
And we're lazy.
Yeah. We're really lazy. If you can't tell, we don't bolt it down at all to work on it. We just fight it the whole way. So, the video should continue. There shouldn't be as much spacing now. So, we'll just continue tearing it apart for you and show you a lot of the ways not to do it and some of the ways to do it.
Well, I guess we'll continue by taking out the rest of these here bolts, just because they're there.
Make sure you keep all the bolts from each part together so you know where they go. Some of them are pretty obvious, some are not obvious. Not as obvious. Some of them look the same, like these are from this part of the crankcase. They look pretty similar to a lot of the stuff we've been taking off this thing. You can see this one is from this part of the crankcase. These ones, they're not as similar, but they're the same length and the same size. They are from what are these from?
They don't belong to this machine, boss.
Oh yeah, they do.
They're like gold.
Yeah, I know. They're from the inside or something. Oh, you know what? I know what they're from. Where is it?
I don't think they're from this.
Oh, they're from there. Because every bolt that we've taken out of this thing, been on.
I think Jumbo stuck by and dropped off some extra bolts first.
Hang on. I know what they're from. We just gotta find it. Where the fuck is it? From this.
That thing? Sure.
The one-way clutch. They're from the one-way clutch.
The one-way clutch. The hatch slinging slasher.
These ones are also from the one-way clutch, or the actual clutch pack. You just gotta make sure that these don't get mixed up. They're different length, but they look the same. They're just different color.
It appears we've missed. There's one bolt that's actually a riding stud of some kind for something else. I don't remember what actually came off of there. But it's actually also a bolt. In disguise, incognito, if you will. There's also a bolt back here that I totally missed just now. A little late in the meter heading.
There are some on the bottom.
There are none on the bottom.
Oh.
Liar! So I have no idea how you intend to get this oil pump out, because like I can't make it come out.
You gotta crack this off first.
Oh, I gotta do stuff and things.
I know, I'm just trying to get it off evenly.
Bingo! We're hanging up in this corner over here. Let's take a secondary look and make sure. Okay, looks like this dowel. The dowel back here, I don't know if it's the same dowel as this dowel, but a dowel is a dowel no matter how you look at it. Now, then there's that thing.
If you've never taken your engine apart before, it's gonna fight you coming apart. So just take your time, don't break anything.
Make sure you do not miss any bolts. Yeah. Always look again and again and again.
Because it might look thick. If you look on the other side, there's always a lip. And it's actually pretty thin metal, so, and it's just cast aluminum, so it's gonna break real easy. So just take your time and be gentle.
That's why you'll see a lot, especially the Suzuki 230s. If chain binds up because the chain rollers always fail. Mine does. Chain binds up, but it actually cracks the case. That stupid chain actually cracks this, what appears to be, to the naked eye, the untrained moron, a hardened piece of steel, but it is not. You could probably break this with this ratchet if you hit it hard enough. Suddenly, that thing.
It might seem scary to take the oil pump apart, but to take this apart,
He's terrified.
yeah, to take the oil pump, or the whole crankcase apart, you have to take the whole oil pump off. And to do that, you gotta take this gear out, and then 2 Phillips, which is the scary part.
Phillips?
Because they strip
those.
You're screwed.
He's terrified.
Top drawer.
Top drawer.
Second.
You said the top drawer. Oh my God, he's lying again.
I know my toolbox so well. Just be real gentle with them. You strip these, you're gonna have to get new ones. And to basically get new ones, you gotta buy a whole new oil pump. They're not cheap. Let's move you so you guys can see.
Yeah, I'm gonna need something to impact on these because there's no way. This one I already made one bad pass at it. Oh my God, just slowly ratcheting back.
Alright. Now the really scary part.
Well, here's the side with that clutch we can't get off. But I've started another cardboard template. You might notice I've written the letter P right here. Today's program has been brought to you by the letter P. That's because we're going to start with this bolt right here, right next to the piston.
First we can take out the adjuster nut for the
Don't be
actual
adjusting your nuts.
shifter.
People are watching this. Damn it.
'Cause that's just going to get in your way. Now remember, if you're buying a full kit, it's going to come with O-rings. One's right here.
O-rings.
Just make sure you change them. If it comes with it, change them. It just makes sense to change it because it's all beat up and squished.
I mean, it's there. You might as well. If you're not getting the whole kit and yours is in okay shape, whatever. Reuse the damn thing. I don't care.
Yeah, if you got like just a sheet of gasket material, it's obviously you're not going to be getting O-rings. But if they're pretty bad shape, you're going to want to change them.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably go to like your basic auto parts store and just say, hey, I need this O-ring. And they'll pull out that fancy kit in the red plastic thing and say, here, this is the one you need. It matches this. And it'd be like me, and you'll go, oh, okay, and you'll go home with it.
Yeah, but in your case, they're always wrong.
Yeah, in my case, I go to the same local chain auto parts store that will remain unnamed 3 times for the same rod bearings. The doofy kid behind the counter looks at you and says, you mean wheel bearings?
Now, yeah, we're on the other side of the engine. We'll talk about the other side in a minute.
We'll talk about this when your father gets home. Not that tool, you know.
Because we think we could crack the crankcase without taking the oil pump back off.
Mostly because those screws are really easy to strip. And we started to strip them and said, yeah, let's go around the quicksand.
Yeah, so we're going to try to take it apart differently and not take the oil pump off.
Oh God, I don't know what just fell, but I'm kind of afraid to look.
A seal?
It's one of those.
Oh no, washers.
Washers. Set those down, we'll get that figured out in a minute.
It's always good when stuff falls apart where you can't see where it came from.
It's like a mystery. It's a jigsaw puzzle of garbage.
This engine's destroyed now.
This one came from right underneath the shifter. So I'm going to go ahead and put the letter S. First save our skins! Sorry.
You have a great singing voice.
I know. Well, here you go Thursday. Try the Beetle.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Who says that?
I don't know. Me, just now. if you weren't there, you don't know. My socket fell off.
There you go. Now you might be able to see what we're doing a little better.
They don't care.
Oh yeah, watching our video to learn how to take apart an engine. Don't see what we're doing.
What's your point?
These guys suck at what they're doing.
It's like Elvis. I don't even think he knew how to play the guitar, really. I think at one time he actually said, in my business, you don't need to know how to play the guitar.
I know for a fact people are watching these videos going, I wonder if they're going to get back together and working.
They're probably like going to 8 videos in the future, stuff that we haven't even done right now. Here on April, whatever the hell today is. I think it's like the 18th or something, I don't know.
16.
16, close enough. Probably going forward to like June when we finally get this thing back together and realize something's messed up and we've really ruined everything. But also what I'm going to do is find that damn Sharpie I just put down. And this is going to be... If you just went by handwriting, you'd think that said, left. But I know what it reads, and I know where it goes.
Even though we're pretty sure we took out all the bolts, check it over.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking through in these little cracks and crevices here. Stick my big fat pinky in there like a sausage link. This feeling around is just another one of those cast Allen things. I don't know what the hell they're supposed to be, but they're there.
There's like 3 of them on the engine.
I don't know, they're like some kind of like a secret thing in a video game. It's like an Easter egg. And this random bolt.
That fell out of this side.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Figure it out.
Well, when you figure it out, do something with it. I don't know.
We'll set it here, figure out what it does. Not that.
It's broke. I guess we'll start down here where the big fat thing is. Give her the old razzle dazzle.
Let's move stuff before we break it.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, who needs an oil pump?
Oh god, not me. Hey look, the bottom. What'd you do? It's all dirty.
There's a reason we're taking it apart to regasket it.
No.
Leaks. This thing leaks like a sieve.
You didn't even know what a sieve is.
I do, but I can't remember what it is actually.
Until recently, you thought a sieve was a slang term for an ethnic group. And 2 weeks before that, you thought an ethnic group was just a band.
They're not? Like I said, it's gonna fight you the whole way.
If you're not inventing new curse words, you're not doing it right. So, stop here. That's got to interlace with the 2 fork at some point. So I don't think we can pull that out yet. If we do, we're going to lose whatever that links to inside.
Yeah, but I know in the manual, which will explain what we're going through with the manual later. But I think we gotta take this star gear thing off.
Well, let's get a 10mm and snort it like cocaine. What?
Friends for so many years and I still don't understand half the things you say.
That's because most of the time I just say stuff that doesn't make sense. Well, it broke. Hey, a bolt.
Good hell to get this out. There we go. Makes breaking noise. That's what you want.
Yeah, you want everything to break and snap and become a pile of mush.
Still gotta figure out where these washers come from. Wait. That might be where.
Yeah, there's no way.
I think it's from there.
It has to have been. I guess we could always look at the video later on and say, hey, that didn't look like that before.
But what we use for the things that we don't know is there's stuff that this is the first time we're ever ripping this apart. There's things that we have no idea. We go with the manual.
We're better at making sandwiches.
The official Honda manual. I got this off of OscarMiner.com or .org actually. .net. .net.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Come on, Much Mouth, let's get with it.
This manual has came in handy for so many things because when I first got this thing, I had no idea what I was doing. But I found this on another YouTube video. He told me where to look it up on that video, and this thing has come in handy so many times. And it's free to download to your computer, and you just print it off on a printer.
Also, there's another manual that floats around on eBay. You probably take up the covers like every single motorcycle.
Yeah, but they want like $60 for the manual.
Yeah, but I got it for free from my neighbor, so.
Oh, that manual, that's $30.
Yeah.
That's $30.
$30.
The actual Honda manual for this.
Yeah, but like
trike. This is what I call my piggy bank. It's where most of my money goes into.
I don't know why that's. I still don't understand the point.
I don't know, shifting. Not like actual shifting gears, like bumps and stuff. Keeps it centered just like most bearings in it. Now, if you're going to change bearings out, don't go on eBay and get actual Honda ones. Look up the measurements and buy them from other places because it's a lot cheaper. They want $30 for just the crankshaft bearings. I found them for $20 on a different website.
$10. But actually, if you wanted something that's better than what Honda can give you, you want something that's like top of the line. If you mic the inside fit, mic the outside fit, mic the width, whatever the hell else they tell you to mic for bearings. Or if you just get the number, there might be a number printed on the side that you might be able to get. You can get them from SKF or FAG, whatever. Believe it or not, it's actually the name brand, FAG. You can actually go to their websites and type in the number that is on the bearing or the measurements, and they can probably get you a better, higher quality bearing. I mean, it's not what Honda wants you to put in, but I mean, would they want you to put something in there that lasts a long time? Probably not.
This thing's from '84. These bearings are like brand new.
Well,
they put some pretty good bearings in there.
You want it to last another 150 fucking years?
Yeah, don't get cheap ones. If you're gonna do the bearings, you could put out money. If you're gonna want to get stock ones, like I said, you could just get the measurements off of the stock ones and get them for $10 cheaper. But if you want to get better, you could go that route and get way better bearings that'll last even longer than these ones.
Like if you want to pass this on to great-great-grandchildren, like,
like
if you
this
want
guy.
If you want to like outlive your own three-wheeler, like if you want this thing to be like part of your headstone, this is what you would do.
I can't do with the hat no more.
Oh my God!
It's too warm.
Getting hot under the collar over here. Well, I guess we didn't miss any bolts. Except that. I don't know what the hell that is.
That's the arm for thing that locks into this.
Suddenly, this thing. It's not coming out. Oh, yeah.
It's a lock pin. It's not gonna come out.
Oh, God.
But we will be back when we figure out how to crack it. Alright, well, we got it cracked.
We got this here bad boy off. Big pain in the ass part was pushing the shifter through. And it's just a straight rod, doesn't engage anything inside. All of your engagement from your shifter takes place on this side. So if you just push that out with a hammer, or just get angry at it and yell at it hard enough it falls out like we did, the whole case should just come right out. As long as you have all the bolts out. And you're left with a whole bunch of gears and stuff that really are confusing to look at if you're not familiar with it. And we have this series of spacers and washers and whatnot that fell out. And we don't know where the hell they go yet. We figured out, I think, one or two of them.
One.
We figured out one of the three.
Inside this part of the crankcase,
Pressure.
there's going to be a wear mark right here. This big spacer. Big spacer goes right there. You'll see a wear mark right here, but it fits on there perfectly. So we're pretty sure that this goes there.
You have to go on one of these.
But the things we don't know,
Unless some of these came off of that shifting shaft. Shifting shaft, if you will.
like I said earlier, we go to that manual to figure out everything. Pull forward.
It's got to fit somewhere on something.
But other than us trying to figure where these go,
Perfect.
if you're doing a full gasket kit, this is basically
As far as you're going to have to go.
because the rest of this crankcase does not come apart. It's a full solid piece. You could leave these gears in, leave this actual shifting in. This you don't have to take out. So the magneto, you don't really have to take off. But if you want to pull it all apart, check all your gears and stuff, you're going to have to get that M14, you said it was?
I believe it's an M14 bullshit. Metric 14 millimeter.
And you're going to have to crank that on and push the magneto out.
But in case you're curious, basically there's this shift drum here. This actually has all these little journals and whatnot on it.
That's where this little tiny one went. Yep.
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
it's got a little brass wear ring on here. But basically, it's got these little journals and whatnot. It's like the toys from the playground when you were a kid. I don't know, maybe you went to a different playground than I did. I don't really know where you're from. But, that's a shift drum. And as you take these, if you feel like it, the shaft here has these two dogs on it.
Let's just take it apart. Okay.
What the hell, why not?
We're already this far. Might as well.
It has these three dogs on it, even though I just said three a second ago. But literally, they ride these three grooves, just as you would imagine. And as you shift, as per the magic that takes place, this drum moves just a little bit, and these things slide back and forth on this dowel, and move in these grooves and move back and forth. They each have, appears to be 1 to 2 spots per groove that each dog would move.
Now, if you are having gear shifting problems, these are probably what you're going to have the biggest problem with, because they're pretty thin and they're pretty delicate. You get in a pretty bad crash or you flip it while it's running in gear. These a lot of times will snap, or just over the years from wear they'll snap because they slide and move. But you can find them obviously on eBay, because it's the only place really to buy these anymore, because everyone thinks they're so dangerous.
Dangeroso!
But you can find them on eBay. They're normally like 20 bucks for one. They're pretty expensive, but most of the time it's not going to be all three broken, it's just going to be one. But don't really take them off the rod, because if you screw them up, put them in the wrong way, you got a big problem. Because you can see that they're all different shapes and they move different ways. Just make sure you keep them in the right order, or at least take a picture of them before you take it apart.
Or just take a video like we did.
Yeah.
But what we have here on this upper shaft that was in place right behind the crankshaft in this area, you've got this little gear on the end, followed by this bad boy, which actually, if you're not careful, has this wear ring on it that is splined. It will turn with the shaft. Then there's a snap ring, followed by this and this. This does not slide back. There appears to be a secondary snap ring right there.
These are actually your gears.
This is actually what makes you move down the road. This actually pulls your fat ass across your yard as you're driving.
Not that big.
Yeah. Tell it to me again when you're twerking.
Torque right now for you.
As you can see, that one engages into that, and this one engages into this. I'm not really sure what gear does what, or why, or what gear is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, if you're feeling adventurous that day. But basically, that's what's entailed in that.
Forgot to mention this earlier. Before you start taking everything apart, dropping shit everywhere, this part of your crankcase, this little spot right here, your gasket sits over that, and this right here is one of the bolt holes for your oil pump. This right here sits like this, and the bolt will be covered by the gasket. So if you don't have this gasket for this part of the crankcase,
don't freaking take it apart.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to get to this part, because if you rip this, you screw the gasket, because this actually keeps the oil from going anywhere else. It forces it into your oil pump.
If you're one of those silicone only guys, that's what you need to know.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, you're going to mess everything up. Now, the only real concern that I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing what appears to be a fine metal powder on the side of this crankshaft.
84. It's from 84. There's going to be wear. Look at the clutch pads.
34 years ago.
I'm not even miking these. I know they're bad.
You just said they were fine.
Not these ones. These ones aren't fine. The actual clutch pack ones are fine. Now, if you want to measure everything, if you get this manual, or you have the original Honda manual because you're magic and you bought this thing back in 84, in the manual it'll tell you the specs. Like these are 25 millimeters, and then the clutch pack, the actual clutch pads, not the metal pieces that go in between them, the actual clutch pads are 2.6. My clutch springs are exactly 25, and my clutch pads are 2.5, 2.4 in different ones.
What the hell did I do?
These, I never really looked into the manual to see how to measure these. I don't really think there is a way. You kind of just look at them and see if there's wear. But this clutch is the one that takes the most abuse, because this is your single-way clutch, your one-way clutch.
Centrifugal. There you can see there's a spring that as you pick up speed with the engine it would engage.
This, we've talked about it sort of in this video. Our camera screwed up, so we didn't get a lot of what we did. But there's grooves in here. Both of us are still not sure if they were milled or if this is just from wear from this clutch pack, or clutch pads. But this is the one that will take most of the abuse from it running. And those are the ones you normally replace. The clutch pads, they take abuse, but not as much because they're not moving as... They're moving fast, but not as fast as your one-way clutch. That's the one that takes the brunt of the abuse. Get that back together yet.
Wait for it. You know what I should have done? Is put those damn dogs back in at the same time.
Or just not take it apart.
Well, how would we know? Click.
Woo!
Now, there are spots, as you probably saw when I took it apart and I showed you, there's these cog-driven gears, and in between those, the longer gears have a little groove that is more or less designed exactly for these dogs. These tiny little robot ropers here, whatever you want to call them.
Dog legs, whatever.
Dog legs. They're just dogs, not dog legs.
It's whatever they want to call them.
I don't care what you call them, okay? I really don't. It's your machine, not mine. I don't care what you call my machine, because mine's junk. But there is a pin where that's going to ride into. You know what I'll do? I'll put them in there. I think, anyway. See if I can finagle all three of them. This should be like a rubber or something. Thanks. What would I do without you?
Probably not do this because you wouldn't, you know, have this to do.
Oh, no.
Because we're magic.
Okay, which way did this one go, genius?
That way.
This way?
Yeah.
Wait for it. Oh, would you? Okay, now, pin it.
Hang on, let me wipe this off.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Well, we're not cleaning that part of the engine.
We're just not very clean people in general.
Yeah.
I haven't showered in at least 20 minutes. And I'll tell you what, under all of these clothes, I'm naked. Uno. Dos.
And now it doesn't want to move.
You gotta get angry. Did you put it in backwards?
Did you not put it in backwards? It's a one-way pin. It does not matter. It's a two-way pin, I mean.
It's a one-way pin. That means it goes both ways, right? It's a one-way street. Officer, I was only driving one way.
Alright,
Tap, 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 tap,
there you go.
tap, tap.
Tap it in.
Yeah, I'd tap that.
Alright, now.
Oh! There should be like a hole in the case that shouldn't engage into, but it's not. Doesn't seem to like to.
There we go. I think you put one of them in backwards. No.
No, I think you did.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, that was so you.
Oh, we're great at this.
Well, that's another good example right there. Putting this stuff together. Now we just had.
I just said to make sure they're in the same spot. You put it in backwards.
Well, as we this is the series they came out in, and the way that we had it, we had this one in the wrong way. I did that. I had it in the wrong way. And these pins on the bottom, as it's all engaged into the same series of gears, if my fat hands would allow me to do this, it's somewhat aligned. And none of the pins align. This one and this one are kind of close. I mean, they're not quite perfect. But obviously they're not engaging into the same drum this way. So one of them is on the back.
Oh, I'm never gonna drive this thing again. I'm gonna get a whole new engine for this thing. I hope you like our videos so far.
I mean, it kind of sucks, but whatever. Oh, no. Okay, so this one's got to go this way.
I'm just gonna grab this pin out from below your arm and clean it off again because it's all covered in dirt.
Dirt! I wonder if, like, dirt was the original word for I don't know.
I don't want to get on this topic again.
What do you want to eat tonight? Dirt! Okay, did I put that one in backwards?
At this point, I don't even know.
I didn't think it would. This does not want to engage in here. Okay, nothing to look at. These thicknesses appear to be the same.
Oh, God.
Maybe that was me.
Let's take the whole thing apart since, you know, we just told them. You don't have to.
You don't have to, but we will anyway because we're morons. There's only one way this goes together. Obviously, this one's kind of shaped like a crab claw. This one is like a crab claw with a tumor on it. And this one is like shorter for some reason. But if they're all sitting on the same shaft, they're all engaged into the same thing. That one's got to be the farthest one. This one, I believe, is the middle one. They're all on the same shaft. They're all engaged in the same drum.
You come here often?
No, but I'm about to. So this one, we know have to go exactly that way. This middle one, what did we do?
I think it goes that way.
Maybe it does. Maybe this is a different part of that drum. Judging by the wear marks. Sure. Whatever.
Editing this video is gonna be fun.
Fuck yeah, well. Okay, that's definitely not right. Let's try it this way. That looks a little bit closer.
Did you get her? You don't have to be lonely.
At HondasOnly.com.
Got it.
I don't know if it's a real website. I'm not advertising for that website. I have no idea. I'm not even sure what I'm doing right now.
We could always go back to that video.
Oh, God. Come on, Hogarth, what are you doing?
It's just bouncing around. You know what? You know what? You know what?
We don't need these. We're going to throw these out.
Is that the way you're putting it on?
Sure.
Screw my engine. Who needs it?
Not me, obviously.
Do you want to go riding?
Yeah, I can.
To you too! No, that's not gonna go.
Well, I guess this concludes our broadcast day. And we've got the gears back in. We kind of messed up. One of these shift dogs, as per the middle one, actually goes to this shaft. We were kind of blinded and didn't see that at first. But then we looked at this handy dandy manual that you can find on oscarmeyer.net, was it? Yeah, .net.
Pretty sure. We'll put it down in the description.
oscarmeyer.something. Just keep trying. There's only a couple of those things. And it tells you everything. This is for the 200M. Everything that could possibly you could even need.
The only thing it doesn't really go depth in is the carb. It goes a little bit, but not much.
If you can't figure out the carb, you shouldn't be working on these things. They're the easiest thing ever. You do one, you've done them all. They're all the same. But basically, it tells you all kinds of stuff as far as, you know, how thick. Oh, there's your fuel system stuff. Tells you all the jet needle settings and whatnot. And here's, okay, main jet, needle jet holder, throttle stop screw, blah, 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 pilot jet, etc., etc. So it does kind of go in depth with the carburetor. I don't know what the hell he was just talking about, but this goes in as in depth as you're going to need. It tells you what parts that you probably dropped and are now missing. That's pretty much the gist of why you would need a breakdown diagram. But this is oscarmeyer.net, and it will let you download this whole thing. And if you feel like wasting an entire box of ink and paper, you can print it out and put it in a binder, just like we did. So it's really useful, except it gets covered in grease and stuff. Better than getting your computer covered in grease looking it up every time.
It's got all the Hondas. It's got all the Yamaha manuals. It's got the tire specs for Honda. It's a big Honda thing. It doesn't go in as depth with Yamaha. It's got all their manuals, but it doesn't go in. I got wire color diagrams. I got the tire size, all the stocks from the 70 all the way up to the 250. It's got all the Yamahas. I think it has Kawasaki trike ones. I think it's only got one or two of them. I'm pretty sure that's it.
It tells you everything you ever want to know, and even stuff you didn't want to know.
Like I said though, we'll put it down in the description. We'll get the website, we'll just put it down in the description so you can go find it. But next video we're gonna put it all back together. We're not gonna video us cleaning off the gasket or cleaning the engine period, because
that would just be boring as hell.
Yeah, there's thousands of ways. I mean, everyone's got their own way to do it.
We like to scrape it off with our teeth, but you can use a razor blade, a screwdriver, I don't know, your shoes, whatever you want to use. As long as you scrape off whatever's left, or at least like 95% of it, and don't damage it bad enough that the gasket won't seat next time. And if you're making your own gaskets, or if you're using RTV or silicone or something, be very careful, because I have had an experience in the past where, as per this shift drum that we were just talking about for too long, and couldn't assemble the damn thing
on video.
I put, if you need a gasket for a 79 Suzuki 175, like the first crankcase I've ever split in my life, you can't find it anywhere. So I ended up making my own. I cut it out of a sheet of gasket material. It worked great, or it looked great, and it kept the oil in, which is the two things that I was really going for. I didn't think I would have the issue that I had. It was too thin, and it actually pinched the shift drum. And I could not, I fired it up, it ran great, but I didn't have the chain on it. I put the chain on, and I went to ride it. I had 5th gear and 6th gear. That was it. So, either use stock spec bearings like we're going to, or stock spec gaskets like we're going to use, or make sure you have something that tells you how thick it is.
Get it.
But this is available on the interwebs. It has all of head gasket, base gasket, O-rings, millions of O-rings, so we have no idea where they go yet. So as we put it back together, we're going to say, oh, here's an O-ring. Yeah, it's even got valve seats and stuff. I don't know if we're going to get into the valve seats, but we just may. But they do have those in there.
If we do, we'll do that in a separate video. Won't be as long as these ones.
No, this won't be a cinematic experience when we do these, if we do these. We've got a center case, we've got all the other cases and everything else that go together. But basically every gasket you're going to need is here. All the O-rings, dentures, whatever else might be in here. I haven't really opened it yet, so we're going to put it on video just for you. There's some, okay, obviously this isn't from here because I'm reading
Motor Chinglish. We love the Chinglish.
Chinglish.
Chinglish.